Good afternoon, classmates. My name is Jake Weller, and I am here to talk to you today about men's rights during the abortion process. More specifically, I will be discussing the lack of men's rights in regards to abortion, the impact abortion has on men, as well as potential solutions to help give men some say in the matter. When you first think about the topic of abortion, most of the time people will automatically think about the mother and how abortion directly impacts her. What most people fail to realize is that abortion directly impacts men almost as much as it impacts women, and it impacts men in some ways that some wouldn't expect. First off, men have to deal with an unfair advantage when facing abortion from the very beginning. According to an article from BBC Magazine, there is a law that has deemed men to have no rights to consent to an abortion for which they are responsible for. So basically, if a man gets a girl pregnant, he has no say in the matter at all on what happens to the baby. Next, in order to see how big the problem is, you have to understand the amount of abortions that are taking place each year. According to the CDC, in 2018 alone, there's a total of 619,591 legal abortions that took place in the United States. This means that there were 619,591 mothers as well as fathers that were both directly impacted by the matter. Lastly, there is a strong emotional, psychological, and financial damage that can affect men for long periods of time after the abortion takes place. Due to the fact that so many abortions are taking place each year, it is important that the public realizes that abortion affects more than just women and is properly educated on men's abortion rights. Now that you are familiar why it is crucial that men have rights when it comes to abortion, I will discuss in detail how and why men are impacted the way they are and why abortion laws need to be changed. To first understand how men's rights have formed over the years, it is important to start where it all began. According to the article Father's Rights in Abortion, during the 1976 Planned Parenthood versus Danforth case, the district court ruled that having a father's consent to abortion is unconstitutional because it goes against the mother's rights to choose, which is upheld by the privacy clause found in the 14th Amendment. This case is extremely important to the abortion argument as it solidifies men's position in the argument to having no rights at all. Because of this case, thousands of men around the world have suffered both emotionally and financially because of what has gone on today, many of which have put their lives on hold. To give you guys an example of what I mean, have you guys ever been on the playground whenever you were a kid? You got in trouble, the kid went and told on you, and you never got to explain your side of the story? You were probably very, very mad that you got in trouble because you didn't even get to explain what happened. That same anger of not being able to tell your side of the story is the same emotion that men get when they don't have any say in what happens to their baby. BBC magazine reported the tragic story of Carl Locker, who highlighted the negative effects that abortion had on him, and it's a perfect example as to why abortion laws should be changed in the United States. When Locker was in his 30s, he accidentally got the girl that he was sleeping with pregnant. After much debate with himself, Locker decided to man up and do everything he could in order to have his child born. However, he never got the chance as the woman he was sleeping with aborted the baby without even telling him. This led Locker down a downward spiral in his life. He was a very Christian man at first, but then picked up a bad drinking habit due to all the grief he felt, and he ended up moving away to California in order to deal with the trauma and get a fresh restart in life. Outside of emotional trauma, not having a say in the abortion process also affects men financially as well as emotionally. Currently, if a man has a kid he doesn't want to raise, he will have to pay child support, which is usually 25% of the parent's income. This may be fine and all, but in certain circumstances, this can be very, very detrimental. Picture yourself right now as a college student, taking out loans, barely able to get by. And all of a sudden, one day you find out that your girlfriend is pregnant and that she's keeping it. With current child support laws the way they are, there is no way that you or any other child or college kid would be able to work full-time job while going to school and still be able to pay that 25%. It's simply not fair to the father, nor is it fair to the baby if financial problems arise at the very beginning of the relationship, as this can lead to very many problems down the road. Scenarios such as these are reasons why abortion laws need to be changed to help out men all around the world. And now I will discuss my solution to how I think these issues can be fixed. The first solution that I will propose is a law that would help lower the child support payment rates in certain situations. Bad living conditions, low income rates, or a young age are all factors that might make a man want to get an abortion, and it is only fair that his opinion is heard. I would like to propose a law that requires 2 weeks of counseling for the two couples to settle their differences. If the counselor feels like the father's reasons to getting an abortion are valid, then he will only have to pay 15% in child support instead of the normal 25%. This decreased rate will allow men in difficult situations to still support their child without hurting the father financially. Too bad, at least. My second solution for men's rights in abortion has to do with giving men a say during the abortion process. Due to the fact that the 14th Amendment protects women's rights to privacy, I want to propose a law that requires mandatory 2-week counseling so that both parties get an equal opportunity to voice their opinions. Having a 2-week counseling period will help prevent emotional trauma that comes with not having control of what happens to your child, because it ensures that everybody gets a chance to say what they need to say. In an instance where a mother wants to keep their baby and the father doesn't, or vice versa, this is the perfect opportunity to try and plead your case so that you can get the results that you want. Personally, I have always dreamed of starting a family ever since I was little. If I was in the shoes of Carl Locker, but had the opportunity of becoming a father taken away from me, I'd be completely upset. But if I had the opportunity to meet with the girl, explain to her my reasoning of wanting to keep the baby, and she still had the abortion, I would still be able to sleep at night because I knew I gave my baby a fighting chance. After the 2-week period is over and the decision is made, counseling will be made available so that both parties can learn to cope with grief in proper ways and not learn to alternative ways of coping, such as alcohol abuse or substance abuse. In conclusion, I hope that after listening about the different causes and effects that affect current abortion laws on men, that you will understand the significance of changing abortion laws to help benefit them. It is important to realize that men are impacted almost as much as women are, and that you start to advocate for men's rights in regards to abortion. The more people that are advocating for men's rights about abortion, the louder the voice will become, and hopefully new abortion laws will be set in place as a result of it. Thank you for your time today.